fear.
Pittsburgh.
Turn on the radio! Bring it on! Turn it!
Hello and welcome back to the podcast. I'll be your host. It's Kevin Powell. This is where we talk about rock, metal, entertainment, pop culture news, and we hang out and have fun. I love talking to bands. I love getting to know them. I love letting the fans get to know their favorite bands or let people get to know bands they've never heard of. Now, I have a special guest with me right now. I'm going to be introducing Mr. Mike Craig from Farewell to Fear. How you doing today, Mike?
I'm wonderful, Kevin. How are you, bud?
I'm great. What are you doing? You're driving somewhere. Where are you at?
I am. I'm not sure where I'm at. I'm in middle America, I think.
But yeah, you should be on your way somewhere very special this weekend. Is that correct?
Absolutely. The one and the only incarceration festival in Ohio. It's going to be insane.
Yeah, 3-day huge event. It's got Korn, Breaking Benjamin, Evanescence. Daughtry is playing this thing of all bands, but it's gonna be a lot of fun. You guys are playing when? Saturday, yeah. Saturday, 1 p.m. And we're totally stoked for it. I appreciate you taking a second and talking to me today. So we're gonna get started. Who is Farewell to Fear, and where are you guys from?
So actually, kind of a funny story. Maybe not so funny nowadays, but Farewell to Fear was formed right around 2010, end of 2010. So 12 years in so far, which is kind of crazy. So a collaboration of guys from all over the country. And we kind of we've evolved a bit over the years, but we really kind of started just out of the sheer passion of wanting to continue to play. Obviously, everyone in the band grew up playing music, but the landscape in the industry has changed quite a bit, as you know. But we got to keep this thing alive, man. You got to keep the roots going, and make sure all the new listeners know where the music came from, right? So. And we wanted to keep a positive spin on it. That's kind of where Farewell to Fear came from. The concept of the name of the band wasn't just the name of the band. It was more of a philosophy, in something empowering and positive for people, in a dark world, and give people some light, some hope. Fear is basically the biggest thing that can hold you back from whatever it is that you desire, whether it's success or relationships or whatever, you fill in the blank. Fear will be that one and one only thing that's going to stop you. So we just said, what a great statement for people, wake up in the morning and say farewell to fear and have a great day.
That's awesome. That's a good story about where the band came from and the band name. You've been there since the beginning, correct? And what have you been, what's your contributing role? What do you do in the band?
Carry the gear. Actually, if you ask the rest of the guys, they would say, no, that's not true. I'm a vocalist for the band. I'm the majority. We all collaborate when it comes to the writing process.
Okay.
So I guess in and around about, we kind of share duties and responsibilities, and whether it's on stage or off stage, to make this thing what it is. So we've evolved quite a bit over the last 12 years.
Okay, that's awesome. How have you evolved, though?
So, since inception, the band has evolved, not just musically, but we've had a couple membership changes, and to try to keep things fresh. If you do this thing for any length of time, it takes a very unique individual long run. It's not always beautiful. So, but in our musically, we kind of went from on our first album, New Blood, we started out with more of a radio-friendly hard rock format, and really worked with some great people on that album. Did very well. We did a remake of Diamonds that did very, very well, and we got some accolades from Howard Stern on the Howard Stern Show, and then we kind of grew from that point. Our second album, Voices, came out, and it was a harder edged, a little darker feel. And now with Polarity coming out, we kind of really pulled down a little bit, got from the roots of where a lot of the guys came from. Some of it was hard rock, some of it was metal, some of it was thrash, it was just a little diversity in the new album. So we've certainly keep the listener guessing for sure.
Okay, that's awesome. And you did just come out with Polarity this year. Walk me through the writing and recording process for this. Was there anything different with this album compared to previous releases? Anything at all?
Yeah, it was a little bit different because the writing process in the past has always been, we always lived in, all of us live in different areas. So a couple of the guys live in New Orleans. Tommy lives out in Phoenix, and then Bill and I live in Jacksonville. So we're never really together when we're recording. And this album was really interesting because we were doing the majority of the writing throughout the whole COVID process. So, that added a whole new perspective to the writing process for us. And it took a couple of years really to put together all the material. And so we did decide through this album that we wanted to do something a little bit different. And we instead of going to a particular format or using particular rules and what you should or shouldn't do nowadays when it comes to putting music out, we decided to throw all that out the window, threw caution to the wind, and did whatever the hell we wanted to. And maybe that's the reason why the album is so diverse. But I like it, and I think that I love what you're, and you say, screw you to the rules and the formats, and to some degree, you can get back to what you love doing, and I think that comes through in the music.
Any favorite tracks off this record? Anything personal to you?
And it's all personal. So,
okay, good.
I mean, It really is. I mean, especially when you go through this kind of a process, and this was somewhat unique because you go through the last couple of years have had an impact on everybody. This is not specific to the band. Yeah, I mean, and not just us as a community and in a country. We're talking about worldwide. This is a unique situation that we've been placed in that has never happened in our lifetimes, and hopefully will never happen again. But it gave us a unique perspective. So when you listen to the album, it does kind of emotionally go up and down, and really touches on some touchy subjects without being too biased on one side or the other. But it had an impact on every one of us. And so I think it was important that the music be relatable to the listener, regardless of what you went through, what you're personally going through, or maybe what you are facing at the moment. So like songs like Weight of the World is one of my favorites, just because, man, sometimes you do feel like the weight is on your shoulders through this process, and sometimes you feel like there's no end in sight, and where do you go from here? And there's a lot of questions out there, and what do I do? And I guess the silver lining is that sometimes you don't have all the answers, and don't go too internal. Speak to people, be out there, and make sure that you're not carrying all the burden, because at the end of the day, it will be all right. And I think that may be the theme for a lot of the songs on the album.
Just hearing that puts me in a better mood already. So I can't imagine. I can't imagine listening to it live or anything like that. And speaking of live, again, you guys are playing Incarceration Fest this year. Huge lineup on this: Evanescence, Daughtry's playing, Breaking Benjamin, Korn, Lamb of God, Spirit Box. The list goes on forever. But you guys are playing as well. Tell me about the hype you must have felt getting that phone call, getting that email saying, "Hey, you're playing Incarceration this year."
Yeah, I mean, it was extremely exciting, and it was. I'm a firm believer everything happens for a reason. And the album came out just when it was supposed to. It literally came out 4th of July, and Incarceration was literally happening this coming weekend. Everything happened just the way it was supposed to. And obviously, when you get an opportunity to be in that kind of company, it's humbling. And we appreciate. We feel so humbled and blessed that we have the opportunity to go. Not just play with those amazing other acts, but get a chance to be fans ourselves off the stage and go enjoy the rest of the festival. And I think our big thing is interacting with the fans, and creating those relationships is kind of a big part who we are. So we were extremely excited to have the opportunity.
What's next for the band? What's coming up for the rest of 2022 or possibly in the future past 2022?
Sure. Well, look at this as a springboard. I mean, I think everything, like I said, having the singles come out when they did, having the album released, from a calendar perspective, it couldn't have happened better. And now coming out of Incarceration Fest, I mean, obviously the like everybody, when you release new music or certainly a full length album, what you're waiting for is the reaction, and the reaction so far has been phenomenal. So we're extremely excited about that. So we hope you guys all enjoy it. But then what we're going to kind of do is kind of sit back and assess where we want to go next, and that may be including some touring, we want to get out there. I mean, like anything else, it's fun to write and put out new music, but it's what we love to do is to get out there and rehearse and play live, and get the reaction live from the audience. So I think you'll be seeing a lot more of us for sure.
Mike Craig, I do appreciate you taking a second and talking to me today. Anything you want to tell fans to wrap things up?
Yeah, give it a listen. I mean, what we would like, if we could ask you for a huge favor, would be go download or go listen to the album, because you can get it anywhere. I mean, anywhere you want it, just, it's worth a Google. So get out there,
Yep.
Take a listen. And I tell you what we'd like to hear is some feedback, whether it's good feedback, whether it's terrible feedback, whether it's, indifferent, whatever. We just like to hear it because your voice matters to us. And we're not big head ego individuals. We just love what we do, but we would love to hear from you guys on what you think of the new material, and anything else. Follow us on our socials, connect with us. We don't have a social media team that handles all these things for us. It's just us. So we'd love to be able to connect with you, and we hope you love the album as much as we love creating it. So thanks again for your time and your support that you guys always do for us. You're the reason why we do what we do.
Very well said, Mike. I do appreciate you talking to me today.
Hey, appreciate you, buddy. I hope you have a great one.
Hey, you too. Thank you so much. That is Mike Craig from the band Farewell to Fear. He's the vocalist. They are playing Incarceration Fest this weekend. Go check them out. They're going to be playing Saturday. Again, huge lineup. So if you're going, I'm jealous. I can't make it, but that's okay. Plenty of bands to check out, including Farewell to Fear. They have that new album Polarity out right now. And do what Mike said. Go check them out. Go listen to them. Give them some feedback. Thank you for tuning in today's podcast. I do appreciate it.